Common Industries 2. Lecture 3 is Enter-esterification of oil and fats. In this lecture, we will study about the oils and fats modification methods, enter-esterification, enter-esterification types, enter-esterification of milk fat with oleic acids, preparation of immobilized lipase, enter-esterification of butter fat, and at the end, we will conclude the whole process. Table of contents. The table of contents of this lecture are oils and fats modification methods, enter-esterification, enter-esterification types, enter-esterification of milk fat with oleic acid, preparation of immobilized lipase, enter-esterification of butter fat, and conclusions. So in this lecture you will learn about the oils and fats modification methods, how we can modify the oils and fats, what is enter-esterification and what are the types of enter-esterification, how the enter-esterification of milk fat occur with oleic acid, how we can prepare the immobilized lipase, and what is the enter-esterification of butter fat, and what are the applications of enter-esterification. So the oils and fats modification methods are the methods in which we modify the oil and fats. And why we modify the oil and fats? We modify the oil and fats to acquire its physical and nutritional properties. So there are different types of physical and nutritional properties are present in the oil and fats. If these nutritional and physical properties are not present in the oil and fats, we modify the oil and fats to acquire its nutritional and physical properties. The modification of oil and fats occurs by the following processes: blending, fractionation, hydrogenation, enter-esterification, and genetic improvement methods. So the modification of oil and fats occurs by blending, fractionation, hydrogenation, enter-esterification, and GIO, genetic improvement methods. So in these methods, we modify the oils and fats and acquire its nutritional and physical properties. So enter-esterification is a chemical reaction that induces the rearrangement of fatty acids that are present within and between triglycerols. Enter-esterification occurs by two processes: chemical enter-esterification and enzymatic enter-esterification. The chemical enter-esterification occurs in the presence of basic catalyst, for example sodium methoxide, and in this process the random arrangement of fatty acids occur. While the enzymatic enter-esterification occurs in the presence of immobilized lipases. And it is the selective modification of fatty acids, while the chemical enter-esterification is non-selective rearrangement of fatty acids. So in the process of enter-esterification, we modify the oil and fats. Now how we can modify the oil and fats? We modify the structures and functionalities of oil and fats by providing the food ingredients and nutritional values to the oil and fats. After providing the nutritional values to the oil and fats, the oil and fats attain its required nutritional values. So in the food industry, mostly the chemical and enzymatic interesterification takes place. And mostly in these industries, the sodium methoxide is used as a catalyst in chemical interesterification, while in the enzymatic interesterification, the immobilized lipases are used. So there are three important steps which occur in the modification processes. These three important steps are hydrogenation, fractionation, and interesterification. So these methods are now used in the industries to modify the oil and fats. Out of these major processes such as hydrogenation, fractionation, and interesterification, the most important step in the oil and fats modification method is hydrogenation. And this process is used to modify the oil and fats, and by using this process we acquire the nutritional and physical properties of oils and fats. So by using the single processes like hydrogenation, fractionation, and interesterification, or by using one processes at a time, we can also use two processes or two methods of modification at a time. So we can couple the two processes at a time. For example, we can use the hydrogenation and fractionation at a time, or sometimes we use fractionation with interesterification at a time. So we use two processes at a time to acquire the physical and nutritional values at a time. So interesterification method has wide number of applications in industry. So that's why we use interesterification methods to modify the oil and fats.
First step is oil and fats modification methods. So oil and fats require different nutritional and physical properties. Usually all the nutritional and physical properties are not present in a single oil or fat. For this purpose, we modify the oils to acquire the physical and nutritional properties. For example, we add different types of minerals or vitamins like vitamin A and D in the oil to acquire the physical and nutritional properties. In the second point, you can see about the factors which affect the formulation of margarines. These factors are melting behavior, solid fat content, and crystal habit. Then we decrease the amount of polyunsaturated fatty acids to increase the oxidative stability, which is very important in frying oil formulation. Why we are decreasing the amount of fatty acids? Because they are unstable and we need to stable oil and fats. On the right hand side, you can see a picture of polyunsaturated fatty acids group containing the omega-3 fatty acids compound. Following are the methods that are used to modify the fats and oil. First is blending, second is fractionation, third is hydrogenation, fourth is interesterification, which has two types, chemical or enzymatic interesterification, and last one is genetic improvement, GIO method. First step in oil and fats modification method is blending. In this method, different base stocks are mixed together and we obtain a specific composition, consistency or stability in the final product. You can take an example of base stocks or base oil as silicone, polyphosphate ester, polyalkylene glycol and polyol ester. The base stocks may include following processes. Number 1 is partially or fully hydrogenated oil. Number 2 is interesterified oils and fats. Number 3 is fractions from winterized oil or fractionated oils. So what is fraction? In this method, we cool the oil, or it is the process of cooling of an oil by following a partial or fractional crystallization method. For example, you can take an example of liquid olein that is separated from the solid by fraction method, stearin by means of filtration or centrifugation. Second point is fractionation. Fractionation is the method of cooling of an oil by following a centrifugation or filtration method. In fractionation method, we take sample in the form of solvent or in dry form. So first point in this slide is fractionation, solvent or dry, leads to a separation of fats and oil into two or more fractions with different melting points. Second point is also it could be used to remove an undesirable minor component such as waxes in oil during dewaxing and winterization processes to produce valid oil. So in this process, we remove the waxes from oil or winterize the oil. Third step is hydrogenation. In this process, we partially hydrogenate the fats that includes a semi-solid. Semi-solid is a substance which lies between solid and a liquid, and it is highly viscous. You can take an example of mayonnaise as semi-solid. Second point is that it is stable during deep frying. Like we deep fry anything, it remains stable. Third point is that it has long shelf life, like it has long expiry date. So the products we are choosing has long shelf life, that it remains safer after its expiry date. But we can say that the product is no longer guaranteed that it is safer to use. Number 4 point is that it was excellent or its functionality is good. In this process, the partially hydrogenated oil, by providing hydrogen gas, nickel catalyst or heats, are converted into the trans fatty acids. Fourth method is genetic improvement. In this method, new mutants or new mutation can produce oil that has specific composition, such as the oils are highly saturated, highly monounsaturated, it has low polyunsaturated fatty acid contents. So the genetic improvement oils and fats are used in the formulation of margarine and frying oils. What is interesterification? Interesterification is a chemical reaction that induces the rearrangement of fatty acids within and between triacyl glycerol. In history, the interesterification process was used in the late 40s to modify the crystallization behavior of fats. Later, it was used successfully to make products such as basal margarines in the Unilever industry for several decades. Now, in the early 80s, with enzymatic catalysis, it was used to make the cocoa butter equivalents and other structural lipids. Interesterification has following types. First is chemical interesterification. Second is enzymatic interesterification. What is chemical interesterification? It is done in the presence of basic catalysts, for example, sodium methoxides, and results in non-selective or random arrangement of fatty acids. The enzymatic interesterification is opposite of chemical interesterification. It is done by using the immobilized lipases. It is commonly used in industries. and results in selective modification of fatty acids.
Comparison. In this comparison, you will learn about the comparison between the chemical interesterification and enzymatic interesterification. As you have studied that the chemical interesterification occur in the presence of catalysts such as sodium methoxide, while the enzymatic interesterification occur in the presence of enzymes such as immobilized lipase. So besides these differences, the chemical interesterification and enzymatic interesterification has following differences. Number one is chemical interesterification process requires low processing cost. So what is processing cost? The processing cost is the cost in which the products are manufactured in the large quantities, but the products are sold in the small quantities. And the process of chemical interesterification occurs in the batch reactors. You can see the picture of batch reactor in this slide. So batch reactor consists of a closed system in which the no continuous flow of the reactants entering the system or the products leaving the system while the reaction takes place. So during the reaction, continuous flow of the reactants that is entering the system and the products that are leaving the system takes place. So this process is not continuous. In the batch reactor, the reaction mixture can react for a long time in order to reach the high conversions. So this process requires long time. While the enzymatic interesterification requires higher processing cost and it occurs in continuous plug flow reactor and it occurs in the presence of lipase. You can see a picture of continuous plug flow reactor in this slide. This process consists of continuous flow of the reaction mixture. In this process, the continuous reactors or the flow reactors carry the materials as a flowing stream. Like reactants are continuously fed into the reactor and emerge as a continuous stream of product. So a continuous process takes place in this process. The reactants are added into the reaction mixture and emerge as continuous stream of product. Number 2, chemical interesterification process requires high processing loss. So the processing loss of chemical interesterification is high, while the enzymatic interesterification process requires minimum processing loss. So the difference is that the chemical interesterification requires high processing loss, while The minimum processing loss occur in the enzymatic interesterification. In the chemical interesterification, low oxidative stability takes place. For example, the tocopherol loss or the vitamin E. While in the enzymatic interesterification process, no change in oxidative stability takes place. So, there is a small oxidative stability which occurs in the chemical interesterification, while the enzymatic interesterification there is no change in the oxidative stability takes place. The chemical interesterification requires high level of reaction byproducts, for example glycerols. So in this chemical interesterification process, the byproducts occur, for example the glycerols. The glycerol is obtained as a byproduct in the chemical interesterification. While in the enzymatic interesterification process, low levels of reaction byproducts occur. So, there are small number of byproducts produced in the enzymatic interesterification. While in the chemical interesterification, there are a large number of byproducts produced. In chemical interesterification, the flavor reversion problem occurs, like the flavor of oil and fats is changed, and it is changed due to rancidity, exposure of fat to ultraviolet or visible light, and by the process of heating or by heating. In flavor reversion, there is a spontaneous change take place in the edible fat, while in the enzymatic interesterification process, there is no flavor reversion problem occur. So the oil and fats maintain their flavor and odor, and there is no change in flavor occur in enzymatic interesterification. Chemical interesterification process requires highly producible processes, and it requires the processes which are easily controlled. These processes are highly reproducible and easily controlled. It is easy to control the chemical interesterification, while the enzymatic interesterification processes are more complex and they are difficult to control. The enzymatic interesterification processes are more complex and these consist of more complex operations and they are difficult to handle and control. How the chemical interesterification and the enzymatic interesterification processes take place. As you have studied that the chemical interesterification process take place in a batch reactor. You can see a picture of batch reactor in this slide. So, typically a batch reactor consists of a reaction vessel that is fitted with the agitator, heating or cooling coils, nitrogen separator, and vacuum pump. So in batch process, the raw lipid is heated at 120 degrees centigrade to 150 degrees centigrade under vacuum in the reaction vessel. You can see a vacuum pump on the top of the batch reactor. So here the raw lipid is heated at about 120 degrees centigrade to 150 degrees centigrade of temperature under vacuum in the reaction vessel, and after heating the material in the reaction vessel and providing a vacuum to it, it removes any trace of moisture. So by heating or providing a vacuum to the material, the moisture is removed. So when the moisture is removed, we proceed towards the next process. But first you know that the moisture and the peroxide deactivate the catalyst. So following the drying step. So after this process, we move toward the drying step. Here the mixture is cooled, and it is cooled about 70 to 100 degrees centigrade of temperature. After cooling of the sample, the kettle is tucked into the reaction vessel and disperses to form a white slurry. You can see on the right side of the batch reactor there is a catalyst slurry is present. So here the kettle is tucked into the reaction vessel and dispersed to form a white slurry. So here a white slurry is produced. The reaction is allowed to proceed for 30 to 60 minutes. So here the reaction takes place at about 30 to 60 minutes. When the completion has been confirmed by measuring melting point and solid or fat content, the kettle is neutralized. The catalyst is neutralized in the reaction vessel. After neutralization process, the processing loss can be minimized by using the little catalyst as possible. So, the processing cost can be minimized by using a small amount of catalyst. Our mixture is neutralized with phosphoric acid or carbon dioxide prior to the addition of water. So, neutralization takes place with the presence of phosphoric acid or carbon dioxide prior to the addition of water. After filtration and soap removal, the neutralized catalyst and other impurities from the interesterified is ready to be bleached and deodorized. So after neutralization, the filtration takes place. And then it goes towards the bleaching section. Here our oil is bleached and then it goes towards the deodorization section. You can see in the batch structure there is a refining of mixture takes place, and after refining, the pre-bleaching and deodorization of the mixture take place. So here the chemical esterification process is completed. Enzymatic interesterification. So how the enzymatic interesterification process occurs? As you know that the enzymatic interesterification process occurs in a continuous plug flow reactor. Here a continuous flow of the mixture takes place. As you can see in this picture, on the right side of the slide, the substrate are added in the hydration column, and hydration may be necessary for catalytic function and for the diffusion of substrate and the product. After the hydration column, our mixture is passed through the enzymatic column. Here some enzymatic treatment is provided to the mixture, and this method consists of lipid feedstocks, and these lipid feedstocks are provided with the pre-treatment processing gate. Here a continuous flow takes place, and this consists of enzyme containing fixed bed reactors that are connected with one another. So a constant flow rate takes place. The pre-treatment processing gate comprises of a silica that have an average pore size greater than 150 angstrom and contains less than 10% volatiles. The processing gate can be placed in one or more of the fixed bed reactors, disposed above the enzymes in the reactors, or it can be in a pre-treatment system which can comprise one or more reactors. So in this way, the silica can be the commercial product.
Next step is the interesterification of milk fat with oleic acid. So how the milk fats are interesterified? Milk was firstly interesterified with oleic acid by providing a catalyst of immobilized lipase. This whole process is done in microaqueous two-phase system. So what is microaqueous two-phase system? It consists of liquid-liquid fraction techniques and has a gain interest because of great potential for extraction, separation, purification, and enrichment of protein membranes, viruses, enzymes, nucleic acids, and other biomolecules both in industry and academia. Interesterification of butter fat. So how the butter fats are interesterified? The process is done in co-surfactant free macroemulsion system that consists of non-ionic and ionic surfactants. You can see the picture of macroemulsion system on the right side of the slide. That's how the whole process of macroemulsion system can occur. The second point is that we can choose the commercial lipase like the lipase which is used for the industrial purposes, that is obtained from Rhizopus niveus at different concentration of surfactant mixtures and consists of HLB values, the hydrophilic, lipophilic values. You can see the HLB scales or hydrophobic, lipophilic scales on the right side of the slide, which are showing the values of 0 to 18. About 0 to 6 are hydrophobic oil-soluble components, above 6 are water dispersible components, and onward values are showing the hydrophilic water-soluble components. So our results are indicated that the interesterified yield of lipase catalyzed interesterified butters reaches maximum value in the microemulsion system that was prepared from the surfactant mixtures of LBA values of 9 and followed by HPL values of 10. In addition, we can increase the concentration of surfactant mixtures about 3 to 6 mm that results in the increase in the yield of inter-esterified yield. So the inter-esterification of butter fat that was done in the microemulsion system, it was prepared from 3 mm of surfactant mixture that consists of HLB values of 10. It will show a minimum hydrolytic activity. At the end, we can conclude that the chemical and enzymatic interesterification has different applications in the food industries. It can result in the formulation of shortenings and marginings to synthesize the structured lipids that can be used for special medicinal and nutritional applications. And second point, we can say that the lipase catalyzed interesterification reactions are used for the synthesis of functional lipid products that has more application, and in the coming years, due to its tremendous applications, we can use these processes. Summary. In this summary, I will summarize the whole process of interesterification. So what is interesterification? The first point you can see, interesterification is a chemical reaction that induces the rearrangement of fatty acids within and between triglycerides. So interesterification is a chemical reaction that induces the rearrangement of fatty acids that are present within and between triglycerides. The second point you can see, interesterification is a means of modifying the structure and functionality of fats and oils to produce food ingredients for a range of applications, which can help to reduce levels of saturated fatty acids and the trans fatty acids in some foods by providing an alternative to the use of animal fats. So the second point, you can see that interesterification is an important procedure, and the function of interesterification is to modify the structure and functionalities of oils and fats. How we can modify the structure and functionalities of oils and fats, or how the modification of the structure of the oils and fats is necessary. So there are some properties or there are some functionalities which are present in the oils and fats. So somehow there are some functionalities or there are some properties which are not present in the oils and fats. For this purpose, we need to modify the oils and fats to acquire the further properties in the oils and fats. So that's how the modification is important. So we can modify the oils and fats in such a way that we can modify the structure and functionalities of oil and fats, and by modifying oil and fats we can produce the food ingredients for a range of applications, and this can be helpful to reduce the level of saturated fatty acids and the trans fatty acids in some foods. So that's how modification is important, because it reduces the level of saturated fatty acids and the trans fatty acids in some foods. We can choose the animal fats by using an alternative ways. So the alternative way is to modify the structure and functionalities of oil and fats by the using of animal fats. In third point, in food industry, interesterification can be carried out using a chemical catalyst or an enzyme. So the interesterification has two types.
chemical interesterification, and the enzymatic interesterification. The chemical interesterification carried out in the presence of catalyst, while the enzymatic interesterification carried out with the presence of an enzyme. In the fourth point, sodium methoxide is generally used as a catalyst in chemical esterification, while lipase are used in enzymatic esterification. Chemical interesterification is a random reaction, while the enzymatic interesterification can be random or regiospecific. So in this point, you can learn that there are some differences which are present in the chemical interesterification and the enzymatic interesterification. To perform the chemical interesterification, we need a catalyst such as sodium methoxide, and while performing the enzymatic interesterification, we need the catalyst such as lipase. And the second difference between the chemical interesterification and the enzymatic interesterification is that the chemical interesterification is a random process or a random reaction, while the enzymatic interesterification has two possibilities. It can be random or regiospecific. The three oil modification processes, hydrogenation, fractionation, and interesterification, have made a major contribution to the greater use of oils and fats since their introduction in the 20th century. So, in the 20th century, the modification methods was used to achieve some useful properties of oils and fats. The modification can be performed by three ways. It can be performed through hydrogenation, fractionation, and interesterification. So the modification process is very important. It can enhance the qualities or properties of the oil and fats. And this process was introduced in the 20th century. The processes principally serve to modify the relationship between liquid and solid content of an oil and fats as a function of temperature, thus enhancing the functionality. So, how the process of modification could be performed? To perform the modification process, we use the oil and fats, and the oils are present in the liquid form and the fats are present in the solid form. So we provide temperature to the oil and fats to enhance the functionalities of oils and fats and to modify the oil and fats and enhance their qualities or further properties. Hydrogenation is the most important or most versatile of these processes, primarily because at least three process conditions can be used to modify process performance. So above all the processes of modification, the hydrogenation is very important process. So you have studied that there are three important processes of modification: hydrogenation, fractionation, and interesterification. So above all the process, the hydrogenation is very versatile process. So how to perform hydrogenation process? To perform the hydrogenation process, we keep three conditions while the performance of the hydrogenation process, and we can modify the oils and fats to enhance the further performance of the oils and fats. Although the modification process are used individually in many cases, their coupling, hydrogenation followed by fractionation,
or fractionation coupled with interesterification can be lead to enhanced versatility in the use of different oils and fats. So to perform the modification process, it is very important that we can perform these processes accurately. So we can perform this type of processes through coupling procedure. We can couple hydrogenation with fractionation, or we can couple the fractionation with interesterification to enhance the versatilities of oils and fats and to enhance the performance of the oils and fats. So that's how the interesterification works in different oils and fats. Assignment number 1 is write down the applications of chemical and enzymatic interesterification. Assignment number 2 is how the interesterification of butterfat can occur. Thank you.